Okay, hey everybody, this is Grace, and you can see that the clouds are all gone. I just got out here and there were some clouds, and all of a sudden now they're gone. Alrighty, it's 82 degrees according to my SUV. Today is February 6th, just February the 6th, 2026, and we are happy that the temperatures have gone back to our norm here in Texas, in a suburb, in a county northeast of Dallas. Yeah, we're happy. Actually, I think the county itself, I think, goes west of it too. But anyway, yeah, we are. Oh, it feels so good. I am sitting out here and the sun is hitting me, and this just feels so wonderful. The house, we have a 2-story brick house. It is always cold in there when it's cold weather outside, and all the way, even now, it's chilly in there. I think it'd be 80 something outside, and inside with no air conditioner on. It's the heater's on, but it's not coming on. I think it's 65. Yeah, and I know I can turn the heater up, but it burns me up, dries out my skin, and that's the least of it. I'll have nosebleeds, gross stuff happens, and my fingers will crack the skin. Yeah, so we're not doing that. And I do have a humidifier. The last couple of years has not really done all that much. We bought a new one. Not really much. They just stink. Yeah. Anybody else notice that these days that anything that, like heaters, those little space heaters, we bought 2 so far. One was like $70, $75, somewhere in there, and the other one was a cheaper model. That we have one like it. The other one we didn't. This one we do have one like it. I use it all the time. So I bought the same kind, just all these however many years later, and they stink. You turn them on, they stink like burning wire. Adam says, well, they're cheap. I don't know how much $40, $70 is cheap for a space heater. I really don't know. But I've seen some that look like little fireplaces now that's apparently they're becoming very popular. I might try one of those. I don't know. They're not that expensive either, like $50. The ones I've saw, somewhere around there. But I want something that the dogs can't tump over or put something on, because we have one of those big round ones, you know. They look like fans, but they're heaters. And I'm afraid the dog's are gonna throw something like, you know, a toy or a blanket or something, and burn the house down. So anyway, I think about things like that. But anyway, I just wanted to give a little update on this part. What's going on in the house now. But it's the sun, let me tell you, it is hitting me, and I think I need to move the SUV so the sun is not directly hitting me. My windows are tinted, but still, yeah, it's bright. So, but it's good to have the sun out, seriously. I'm Texan. I don't live up north on purpose. I live in Texas on purpose. I'd lived in other states. I'm from Texas, born and raised in Texas, and lived most of my life in Texas, but I have lived in other states. And when it would become real cold, no thank you. And like Florida, we lived in Florida, and that where we lived in Fort Lauderdale and Pembroke Pines and Hollywood, Florida, and we lived there. And for days, I remember counting 40 days, 40 plus, I'd say, where the high would be 90, the low would be 70. The same thing over and over. And I think at one point every day, it rained for just like a few minutes to whatever, an hour maybe. I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was every day. The same thing, day in, day out. 40 plus days. It was like, no thank you. See what I'm saying? Texas, I used to say we have 2 seasons, summer and 1 day of winter. And that's it. Now, it's still kind of like summer to winter, really. And but the winters are much worse and much longer. So anyway, I think I'm gonna have to move this SUV to where that sun is not coming down on me, and I can't move it up. The sun is not yet. The sun is just above because it's 117, just above, a little bit to the west. So of course you know how that works, right? Okay, I did move it, but there's really nowhere to hide. And I'm not going to move it into the garage. Yeah. It's out there, but oh, is it burning? I'm telling you. I moved it behind the other, well, it's behind, behind the other, or beside the other SUV, and I don't know. I think I'm going to have to put a blanket or something up to block out the sun from hitting me and leave the AC on. Here comes the AC. Yeah. But 82 degrees, and that's it, man. And our temperature is getting the 110s in the summer, and this is bothering me. Even I have to say, really now, Grace? Really? But I don't know how the rest of the nation, I know that most of it, I think, not a huge chunk of it, had that winter storm Fern, and there's still, and I think another one after that. Some places had the other one. We didn't. Or maybe we just got a little bit of it, whatever it was. And but we had the winter storm Fern hit pretty good. That was a car going by. And there was still some ice out like 11 days later. Ice and snow. I'm not joking. And the temperature had been like in the 50s and 60s still. But anyway, I'm going to try to put something up here. Whoa. Okay, I put a little thin blanket. I don't even know where I got this. Probably Dollar Tree. Those really thin blankets. And I put one on the visor and had moved the visor to my driver's side window. Put that up. Oh, that was burning my arm, I'm telling you. Wow. So I got that covered, literally. Anyway, wow. And I'm also sitting out here, and I'm kind of wondering when, if I'm going to see the same thing I've been seeing recently out here. I used to go and I did videos while I was driving, and then they changed it to where the mount could not be underneath. The mount could not be on the windshield, from what I understood. And if I put it on the man, I don't use these words very much, so my goodness, if I put it really anywhere else, it seems to bounce off of it. And plus, I don't go as many places as I used to, and that's how I used to make videos. So I'm not in the house and so much noise and echoes, because like if I'm in a room, it's going to make the sound of it's going to sound like I'm in a room. Basically, that's what it sounds like. And I used to go to the park and just sit at the park, but people started driving like crazy. I mean, the last time, I think the last one was the camel, what is the expression? It broke the camel's back, okay? The straw that broke the camel's back. And was this couple. They looked like a couple. They looked like a man and woman couple, and looked like they were in their 50s. They were driving a little car, and there's a park there, it's a huge park, and a huge elementary school, and on the other side of it, and so that makes the whole block. There's nothing else, and it's big, and they come whizzing past me. I was parked over there, and on the other side of the park, I was parked in the right direction. They came flying by, almost. I felt like they were about to knock off my side view mirror, and The next thing I know, there they are coming back around. There is no way. You have to go around that whole thing, the whole park on the road, drive past there, go all the way around it, which, like I said, is huge. Both of those are huge. Nothing else there. They're huge, though. All the way around the block. That's all the thing that is on that part of the block. And then come back around, and I was like, there was no way they could have done that. I mean, they had to have done it. But it was like, well, were they driving like 90? Because there's just no way to, if they drove the speed limit, which is 35, and past the school, depending on what time it is, of course, but 35 otherwise, and to drive that fast in a neighborhood, because it's a neighborhood park, in a neighborhood, well, it's a public school, elementary school, but within this neighborhood, so disgusting. But anyway, another thing that I started to notice, you know, because of these things, I started sitting out more in front of my house, and I was doing it more at like 3 o'clock till, you know, sometimes I'd come out here around 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock. Then I started changing it up, different times, not every day, but different times, and started noticing all the strange activities. And one of them, you know, one of them is not as bad as one of the other ones. But I noticed, you know, well, besides people driving too fast, and this road is short, and how in the world they think that they're going to be able to turn, driving that fast. And I mean, what did they do? Floor it as soon as they turned? Or were they on two wheels as they turned the corner to get on this road? Because they were going so fast. I mean, seriously, this neighborhood has kids. Grandkids, people's grandkids, I see too. And, you know, babysit, I guess they're, you know, they babysit or they live there, who knows. But one of the weird things is there's a house, you know, this has a little corner, and okay, now what are you going to do? But they turn that corner. Are you going to park behind my drive? What the crap? Behind my driveway. Oh, there's the squirrelies. They're fighting. Do we still call it fighting? They're chasing one another. Okay, so there's going to be this person who's going to park behind my driveway. Like I said, the weird things that happen. Now, if another car drives up to it, yeah, that's what's been happening. But anyway, they drive so fast through here. But there's also other people that drive fast are these delivery services. And I'm not talking like food delivery. I'm talking the ones that bring packages. The ones that have been around for eons. And there goes one flying down the road. How do they do that without being on two wheels? I don't get it. I don't get it. Why is this car parked behind me? Behind my driveway. There's no reason for it. The only thing that's there is our house and my mailbox. Yeah, that's happened before. It has actually happened before. If I sound a little paranoid, no. It's not paranoia, it's experience. We've lived here 25 years, and you wouldn't believe some of the stuff that happens out here. It's a nice neighborhood, doesn't really matter. I mean, we of course know there are extremes, you know, exceptions to any kind of rule, but things can happen in no matter what kind of neighborhood. And especially when people seem to think that, oh, this is a quiet little cubby hole, and we can go there and, you know, nobody's going to notice. Well, the people who live here might notice. Yeah, we might notice. You're checking out our house. Adam caught somebody. That's why. I don't know if that's why I become more, because I was one of those, you know, from a generation. Hopefully, it still happens. We're taught to pay attention to your environment. Always watch your environment, and to the point of practically being, I know, it seems like paranoia, but no. You got to be aware of what's going on. And this thing of this person driving up right now, and there's no house that they're going to go to except for mine, and where they're parked. What are they going to do there? Why are they parked there? So, of course, I'm going to think this. What are you doing? You know, you're checking out our house. You're Adam caught somebody. And that's why. I don't know if that's why I become more, because I was one of those, you know, from a generation. Hopefully, it still happens. We're taught to pay attention to your environment. Always watch your environment. And to the point of practically being, I know, it seems like paranoia, but no. You got to be aware of what's going on. And this thing of this person driving up right now, and there's no house that they're going to go to except for mine, where they're parked. What are they going to do there? Why are they parked there? So, of course, I'm going to think this. I'm paying attention to my environment. You see? So, there is absolutely no reason to park there. Absolutely none. Yeah. And so then I have to keep an eye out, because one time I was at that park to where the same place, and a guy, instead of doing the sidewalk, he instead of walking on the sidewalk or running, he came on the passenger side of mine, my passenger side, my driver's side, run past my window. Scared the ever living out of me, because I didn't see it. I didn't see him because I wasn't paying enough attention. And I'm the one who says, make sure you pay attention. So this kind of thing right here, yeah. I've actually gotten out of my SUV and somebody walk up it and it's a delivery person. And one time Adam and I were standing there. This was like not even a year ago. Adam was showing me something in his SUV from the passenger side, and we were both standing outside of it. And then all of a sudden I look up into my, left, and I said, excuse me? And it was the guy. It was a delivery guy standing right there. So, you can't be close enough. You can't pay a close enough attention. You have to constantly be watching. Seriously. But I'm curious, what is this person doing? Oh, here they're getting out. Let's see, who are they? I don't know you. Oh, you're going to be a customer of our neighbors. That's right, you're a customer. Yep. Customer. Oh, no, wait. Was I wrong? Nope, customer. Our neighbor, you're not supposed to have any businesses in your home where people, customers, employees, clients, whatever it is, nobody's supposed to come to your home, because you're not supposed to have that kind of business in your home. Nobody, no employees, nobody. But people do. And she's one of them. She does hair. Okay? Her business, she had a business, and there was a storm. Something happened to the roof, and she decided she was going to move out. It wasn't her roof. It was her business, but the business place was, his place of business was a lease, I guess. Something happened to her, and she said, nope, I'm moving out of there. And she didn't want to wait and all that. She moved it out because there was going to be a long wait to have it fixed and all, and she never went back. Well, we don't really care. We pay our taxes, and I never thought I would be one that would, and I wasn't at first when Adam started complaining about it, but we pay the taxes, high taxes and high price for, the prices, for the home, not for other people to be doing everything against not the lease, but the HOA. It's not a lease. They own theirs, we own ours. But people next to, on the other side are lease. They lease it, and they're supposed to follow the same rules. All of them, all of us, everybody out here. You don't get to have a business in your home because people like that, and then it makes it difficult for people like us to back out of our driveway. We don't pay high taxes for that, so they can have their business from home. And the bad thing is, the husband also has a business, and he doesn't actually really run it out of his home, but he does enough to where some of his employees show up. So we have all that activity. Sometimes people come to our door, and we have dogs, and that makes noise. When somebody knocks on the door, and comes to the door, and we don't appreciate it, especially when they come and say, well, do you know where they are right now? He or she. No, this is not our job. We don't live here for this kind of people on our yard making noise, making our dogs bark. You see what I'm saying? It's just not right. This place has, HOAs have rules, and they break a lot of that one place, they break a lot of the rules. They're constantly on threat that they're going to be fined. because they keep breaking the rules, and then of course they keep blaming the HOA. Well, if you know what the HOA says, you know what it's for. And I've always thought those people that say, oh, the bad HOAs, it's because they're the ones who are doing it wrong. And they don't want to have to, you know, do things like keep your yard clean. No, nobody's supposed to tell me I have to keep my yard clean. Keep my grass mowed. Yeah, they do. Because otherwise you can attract whatever. I mean, Adam had to tell the woman at one point she had to stop doing something after his SUV had animals in it. We used to feed them too, and his SUV, we used to feed wildlife, and he had to tell her the same thing as us. You know, that $800 worth of wiring was chewed up in his SUV. It's a Ford Explorer or whatever it is, and twice. And the next time they made two nests inside of it, and one of them had some Skechers in his. I just put them in there, and they ate my Skechers. They chewed up on them. Okay, inside the SUV, and no, none of the windows were rolled down. So mine, he says, my SUV is so tight that they can't get in it because we don't leave our windows rolled down, doors open, none of that. So. Anyway, but yeah, a customer of the neighbors. You know, at least that's what we're told. I've actually been in her house, and she does have the hair salon in the house. So I know that it does exist. We just don't appreciate it. And then there's that other house, like I was talking about to begin with, the one that the people get a lot of deliveries all day long. And even including those big things of water, you know. And Adam said there's no family around here that would be that big to need big water jugs on a regular basis. According to him, I don't know. I am not as nosy as he, but if I'm sitting here and all of a sudden I'm hearing zoom, zoom, and we're in the middle of it. The road, it's not very long. It's got, what, 3 houses? Yeah, 3 houses. Okay, next to one another, and 3 houses, you're hearing zoom. Think about it. They hit the road, like I said, on 2 wheels, and then make sure they floor it to make this much noise. And then there's a corner. They have to turn a corner. I have seen some actually go all the way to the other side. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, I guess I got some of my, you know how it is if you I don't believe in letting things bottle up inside. I really do not. Obviously, I really do not believe in letting things bottle up inside. This is my form of journaling and other things too. You know, I do other kind of videos. And I think I'm going to go back to doing, I have several channels because I have spin-offs. I do these series, but I think I'm going to, I do the series and they have spin-off. So I have the spin-offs on different channels. And it's just from, they tell a story, okay? And that's how it is. And it's, rough draft. Rough sometimes. But, it helps me to get it all, see how it works and stuff like that. But, if it works and if it doesn't, so on and so forth. But it's not very popular because, although they do, some of the things are kind of scandalous. Some of the things are kind of, wow, Adam said, that's kind of dark. One of the storylines, and it is kind of, the major storyline is kind of dark. It's not something new to this world, though. But anyway. But I think I'm going to return to one of the ones. But we'll see. All right, wrapping up.